So as I said yesterday, today we are going to talk about solving confidence, acquiring confidence, or said better, how to speak with confidence. We've went through 7 things yesterday, and today we are going to go through them again, but we are going to dive a little bit deeper into those aspects and see how each and every one of us can put it into work, can start actively using them to be confident when he speaks. A lot of the times when I ask someone trying to learn how to speak or trying to acquire the skill of public speaking, when I ask him why do you want to acquire this skill? Usually the first answer is, it's because I want to be confident. When I stand before an audience to speak, I am not confident in myself. So maybe I stumble, I cannot speak efficiently. That is why it is very important to get this right. It's the first step towards getting the attention of your audience and actually influencing them with your words. Being confident. So the first one, as we wrote, is believing in what you are seeing. If we look at great speakers, if we look at historical speeches that have changed the world, we will see that those speakers actually believe in what they are seeing. For example, the historical speech of Martin Luther King, I Had a Dream. Who knows I Had a Dream? You? So that speech was one of the most remembered speeches in the history of the world. And partly it's because Martin Luther King believed deeply in what he was seeing. He actually had a dream. So he transferred his energy, he transferred his emotion, he transferred his passion for that dream to his audience. When you believe in what you are seeing, a lot of the times you don't even need to be that prepared. Let's say, for instance, today we all believe that these chairs are black. Is there anyone who does not believe that this chair is black?
No.
So when I ask you what color is this chair, do you need any preparation to answer that question? You do not. That is one aspect of believing in what you are going to see. Another thing you need to understand is the reason why sometimes you go blank, sometimes you tremble, sometimes you lose your words, is because of the absence of belief. And something attached to belief is passion. Yesterday we spoke about passion. When we strongly believe about something, we tend to be passionate about it. Today, if you are in a room where everyone is not a Muslim and you are talking about Islam, I am sure you are going to be passionate about it.
Yes.
Because of what? Because of your belief. You believe in the religion. So you need to believe in what you are seeing. The second element is to know enough. So we are going to see how can we actually know enough about a topic. And to say the least, you can acquire confidence by just knowing enough about a topic. We can know enough through a lot of ways. The long way is to become an expert in that given topic. And usually, the topics you speak about before audience are topics you know a lot about. For instance, if you are a teacher known by teaching, when you begin to speak, or when people want you to speak, they want you to speak about teaching. When you are a farmer known for farming, when you speak, people usually want you to talk about farming. So the first way to know enough about a topic is to be an expert on that topic. But being an expert is not easy, right? Being an expert on a given topic is not easy. It takes years of practice, years of learning, practicing, learning, making mistakes, rectifying them. What if you are just going to give one speech on a specific topic that you are not an expert on? Let's say you are a student and you are given a topic to deliver a speech on, and you know nothing about the topic, absolutely nothing. Or in your community, they ask you to please come and speak to us on this gathering about this topic, and deep down you know nothing about that topic. So how can you know enough? One, the most obvious one is reading. Reading. That is the most obvious one, right? You want to know something about a topic, you read about it. You take books, you read journals, you read research papers, you read articles, so that you can get a grasp of that particular topic. The second way you can know enough is to speak to an expert. Speak to an expert. Since you are not an expert, find someone who knows enough about that topic and have a conversation with him. Do we get the idea?
Yeah.
Can we suggest a topic? Suggest something that presumably a lot of
Medicine.
Hmm?
Medicine. I think Dr. knows what's what.
Okay, something not really academic.
Okay. Leadership.
Okay, let's say leadership. You are to speak about leadership, but then you are not an experienced leader. So the first thing you need to do is to read about leadership. There are countless number of books about leadership. Read some. Open some pages. There are articles written about leadership. But most importantly, there are people known for good leadership. So your best resource material is that person that is known for good leadership. Have a conversation with him. Talk to him. How do you go about being a leader? What signifies that you are a good leader? How do you process this and this and that? Talk to him and take notes. That's what 3-4 when it comes to knowing enough. Another thing you can do to know enough about a topic is to engage yourself in practicing that topic. There are practical topics. Let's say you are going to speak about farming. Go engage yourself for 1 or 2 days with farmers. Go to the farm. Actually farm with them. Have that little experience. So that when you are speaking, you are not speaking from a third person perspective. You are speaking from experience. So that is also a way to know enough about your topic. After you know enough about that topic, the third element is to act confident. To act confident. Let's assume you practice everything, you did everything you could, but still you are not confident and you know it. What can you do? Act confident. The phrase fake it till you make it is true in this aspect. And in public speaking, the magic of acting confident is that the moment you begin the act, in 2 minutes, it will become you. If you are able to force yourself to act confident and begin speaking, before you know it, you will forget about the act and it will become you. Do we get the idea? Let's say, for instance, now I called upon you to speak, but then you feel nervous. Try and hide that nervousness. Force yourself to speak for only 1 minute. If you can speak for that 1 minute, I assure you that you can move beyond that 1 minute. Right? So, in the process of acting confident, there are 3 things that you can do. The first one is to fix your body language. Fix your body language. How can you fix your body language? The first one is to stand straight. Don't slouch. Don't shrink your body and hide aside. Stand straight. Use your hands. And use an open hand gesture. When you fix your body language, that is going to the next step of acting confident. Your chin up, look at everyone, and begin to speak. Speak slowly, as I usually see. The second thing that you can do is to project your voice. Project your voice. The first signal to your audience that you are confident is your voice. And now when I speak to you, I assume that I am speaking to someone that is at the end of the room. Now, the seat that is facing me, no one is sitting on it, right? But I try to use my voice in such a way that I am assuming that someone is on that seat. So speak beyond the audience if you want to project your voice. If I'm assuming that I am speaking just to the last people sitting, my voice will be a little bit softer, and my voice will be a little bit unprojected. So instead of assuming that I'm speaking to the last people, I should assume at least 2 or 3 feet away from my audience, so that I can project my voice. The second thing that you can do, this is very important, is to speak. What I need you to be doing is, when you take a breath, take it into your belly. That's how you feel it. Take it into your belly. I wish I can lie down and demonstrate. Look at babies when they are breathing. When a baby is breathing, that is what I want you to be doing when you want to project your voice. Instead of breathing shallowly upwards, breathe deeply. Let me try and illustrate this. If I want to speak, if I speak from my chest, let's say, my name is Authoritative Zakaria, and today we are going to speak about public speaking. This is me speaking from my chest. But when I breathe deeper, my name is Authoritative Zakaria, and we are going to talk about public speaking. Is there any difference?
Yeah.
You feel the depth when you speak from your diaphragm. Sorry, when you breathe and control the breathing and speak from there. So I think there are more illustrations. If you can go to YouTube and see how it goes. But make sure that it's your belly coming up and down, not your chest. That's the basic idea. Your belly and not your chest. Okay?
Times when you're having chest pounding.
Yeah, and it helps calms you down, yeah. You breathe deeply, not shallowly. Your breath should be deeper and deeper and deeper, so that you can project your voice. And then finally, eye contact. Eye contact. When you speak, look at your audience. That is the classic advice of looking over their heads. But no, look into their eyes. I know their eyes might be scary, but they are not going to kill you. They just want to understand what you are saying. So when you speak, make eye contact. Make eye contact. It connects you with the audience and it tells them that you are confident. These three things will help you so much when it comes to acting confident. So when you try and practice these things once, twice, 5 times, before you know it, they are going to be part of you. And you are no longer faking them, you are actually being confident. That's the third element.
But I just want
Yes.
for the first place to look into eyes of your audience is somehow more scary
It's scary.
at the first place.
But if you want to act, you need to act. Let's say you want to act, but then you refuse to look at their eyes.
Maybe after 1 minute.
Oh, maybe after 1 minute you begin to.
Look at
One advice I would give you is find someone who is engaged.
Okay.
One person, maybe your friend.
Yes.
Although your friend might try and make you laugh.
Yes.
So maybe your friend or someone in the audience that is really engaged. I think there is one program we went at Kadit and Kutara was speaking, and I realized that he was only looking at me and my surrounding because I was really interested in what he was saying. Then I remembered he was practicing that idea because sometimes you look at someone that is not engaged and then he sets you aside.
Yes, we don't take back. Before I
So
needs to do that.
Yes. Yes.
yes, teachers.
Lecturers.
But I
Yes.
think another thing is that
Yes.
I think the issue began when you don't have real confidence in you. That's why you are afraid. But
We are going to come to that.
first of all, when I come to the stage, I will start looking at people that are
I don't
around.
think you're when you're trying to develop the confidence. You're already in your confidence.
No, when you are trying to develop the company.
Or taking
So
up the look.
find someone who is engaged, who is interested in what you are saying, and look at it for a while. Then, when you are more comfortable, you can look at someone else.
Someone.
Someone else. Okay?
Okay.
That is acting confident. The fourth element, when we come up stage and we want to speak, one of the main reasons we feel nervous and anxious, and that attack of anxiety comes upon us, is because we are too self-conscious. We think about ourselves. Right? We are self-conscious. We think about how we dress, we think about our hair, we think about our caps, we think about our faces, we think about how the audience are going to perceive us,
Or how to.
rather than thinking about our message. So you need to understand that it is not about you. It is not about you. It is about the audience. So if today I say that I am going to deliver a message, although I want to dress well, but then it's not about how I dressed. It's about the message I'm trying to deliver. How I dress might affect the message, but it is not the primary focus. So I should think about you. I should think about how can I give you the message correctly? How can I influence you? How can I say something that would impact your life? So you need to focus on what? Your message. Going to my yesterday's analogy, if the building is on fire and you want to warn people, you will go upstage without any hesitation and tell them that the building is on fire, everyone should evacuate. But if you are thinking about yourself, you won't, although you won't in this scenario. But if it's not that scenario, because you think that is less important, you are going to begin to think about yourself. I think in that scenario of that fire, even if you are shirtless, you don't have a shirt on you, you are going to tell them. Because of the importance of that message. So you need to see your message as something very important. So it's not about you, it's about
Your audience.
your audience. Moving to the fifth element.
This one is still under act of confidence.
No, it's
Number 4.
you are not acting. If
No, I think the items you.
no,
it's
that's
the-
why it's number 4.
No.
It's not about you, it's about the audience. Our fifth element to solving confidence is preparation. Preparation. You can be non-confident. You can know not much about the topic. You can be self-conscious. But if you are well prepared, I assure you are going to do at least well. Preparation has two parts. There is the practical part and there is the rehearsal. But you need to prepare mentally and physically. Let's go back to knowing enough topics. In your phase of trying to know enough about your topic, you are doing a research. When you read the book, you are writing down what you get from that. When you talk to that expert, you are taking down notes. Right? When you went and engage yourself in that activity, you are also taking notes. So how should we prepare? So normally, how I myself prepare a speech goes like this. I begin by my research, right? I pick that topic. When I take my topic, I shrink it down to something easy to understand. Easy to understand. Then I think of a structure that will fit that topic well. What will fit that topic well? What kind of structure will be very good for this topic? That is the second step. After I think of that structure, then I move on to do my research. Books, articles, people that know more than me about that topic, conversations with friends, and I write as much as I can. I make sure that I write more than I'm going to see. I make sure that I know more than I'm going to see. Do you get the idea?
Yeah.
Know more than you are going to see in your research. Read a lot of books. Books are minimally 50 to 300 pages, and your speech will be only 2 to 3 pages, right? So know more than you are going to see. And this is very important. Make sure you know more than you are going to see, because it boosts your confidence when you know more than you are going to see. But if you know less than you are going to see, then you are going to have an issue. So after I do my research and I write everything down, everything I know, including something that I'm not going to see in my speech, then I move on to the writing phase. I take that structure, how I am going to introduce myself, the points that I am going to mention in my speech, and then how I am going to conclude. So beginning with the introduction, the first thing you need to keep at the back of your mind is your beginning. How can I instantly take the attention, catch the attention of my audience? Yes?
Could you share more light about that strategy?
The structure.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have spoken about structure, but I am, inshallah. So the first thing you need to think about is how can I instantly catch the attention of my audience? What can I say to instantly grab their attention? Because those 7 to 15 seconds of your speech are very important, because that is when your audience will decide, am I going to listen to this guy or am I not? I want you to observe something next time someone is going to speak. He's called upon the stage and before he finished his introduction, you will either see some audience bringing out their phones and begin scrolling, talking to someone beside them, or rather, actually moving and listening to him. Why is that? It's how he deliver his introduction, the introduction to the speech. So you need to think of a way to grab the attention of your audience. There are ways to do that. You can begin with a question. You can begin off with a shocking statistic, something unexpected. You can begin with a quote, or you can begin with something performative, like Ahmad did yesterday. His beginning was some poetry verses that will grab our attention, right? That was good. So, sometimes what I like to do is that if I'm in a gathering where we are not talking about religion, we are not talking about religion. Let's say we are talking about the English language and its literature. You see, we are not talking about religion, right? And I came up to speak. I will begin with an Islamic muqaddimah, a very first one. And people will instantly begin asking themselves, why is this guy even using this kind of muqaddimah in this gathering? It will be very short and concise. The purpose of that is to grab their attention. We are talking about William Shakespeare, for instance. And I came up to it and I begin with رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي امري واحلل عقدة من لساني وبعد. You will be like, what's that? Then I go into my speech. I achieve the purpose of grabbing your attention. Or rather, I would come and ask a shocking question. Maybe I can say, what if I can tell you that you can become a very good speaker in just 15 days? People see it as something that you need to spend a lot of time. And today I tell you that you can be a good speaker in just 15 days. Surely everyone that is interested in that area I will have his attention. Right? Or I can use a quote from someone. We are talking about preparation, right? I would like to begin by saying proper prior planning prevents poor performance. To some extent, you will be curious to understand what does it mean, right? Or I can start with a shocking statistic. I'm just making this up, so this is not accurate. I can see, do you know that 99 are rich? See? So I'm saying something contrary to the normal reality, the normal information we have. So people will be like, why would you say it? Why would you even think that? So that is the beginning of your speech. Grab their attention. Then move to introduce your topic. You can move to say, today I'm going to talk about this. Or rather, you can create a suspense. Today we are going to talk about something very important. Something that can change our lives and make it better. So you are adding curiosity. Then tell them the topic. We are going to talk about communication, for instance. Now you have introduced what? Your topic, your speech. Then you move on to have your points. You might have 7 points, you might have 3 points, you might have 2 points, or even just 1 point. So you break those points into 3. Considering your research, you know what I'm going to talk about. If you are going to talk about farming, the farming has a lot of areas, right?
Yeah.
But you want to talk about only the labor market when it comes to farming, the laborers. Or you want to talk about sins. Or you want to talk about selling crops. All within what? Farming. So you break them into those points. Each and every point can be supported with either a story or a fact or something that will interest your audience. How will you be going through your points? State your fact, then argue it. It's not an argument, but when you state a fact, you need to tell your audience why you said that fact. Yes, you support it. That's how you go through your points. My first point is you need to know enough about your topic. I am citing an example. Then I move on to tell you why do you need to know enough. Do we get the idea?
Yeah.
So that's how you go through. Of course, that's how you go through your points. Each and every one of them. Or you can tell them a story. State the facts of the point, state the point, and then bring a story to back it up. I might say that today marriages fail because we get married for the wrong reasons. This might be my point. Then I move on to tell us why do I say that? Am I giving you a story of someone who married for the wrong reasons and the marriage failed? Am I citing a research about marriages that failed and the reason they failed is because people marry for the wrong reasons? So you see, I'm backing up what? My point. You say something, you make a claim, and then you back it up. You go through all those points like this. Then you move to your conclusion. How should you conclude? Something you need to understand is that your conclusion, you should conclude when your audience are needing more. I've seen speakers that are very interesting speakers. They begin speaking and speaking and speaking and speaking and speaking. But they do not end when their audience are wanting more. They end when their audience are bored with them. You are tired when you end. But let's say today I'm speaking to you and you are engaged, you are this, you are that. And then at that peak level, I end my speech. What are you going to remember about my speech? That moment. That moment that I'm engaged. But if I kept going on until you are bored, what are you going to remember? That boredom, that exhaustion, right? So you need to end when your audience are really engaged. In your conclusion, you can do either of 2 or 3 things. You can end with a call to action, depending on your topic. You can call your audience to perform an action. Let's say, for instance, someone gave a speech about fun. So you can end your speech by calling your audience to also engage in what? Fun. You can call the attention of your audience to learn about fun, right? You can call the attention of your audience to sympathize with farmers. Or you can end with a summary of what you have already seen. There is this popular structure, talking about structure. You tell them what you are going to tell them, then tell them that you have what you have told them. This is a very good structure, especially when you are not giving, when you are giving something informative. You are giving information. You are delivering an instructive lecture. So I tell you that today I am going to talk about this. Then I talk about that particular thing. Then at the end I say today we have spoken about so and so. Very easy. Tell them what you are going to tell them. Then tell them what you have told them. I told you that we are going to talk about farming. Then I move on to talk about farming. Then I tell you that today we have spoken about so in relation to farming. That might be your conclusion, a summary of your speech. Or you can end with something similar to how you begin. I said you can begin with a quotation, you can begin with a story, you can begin with a question. So also you can end with that. You can end with a question. You can end with reaffirming your first quotation. Do we understand?
Yes.
You claimed at the beginning that 99% of Nigerians are rich. So after you pour through your speech, trying to convince your audience and persuade them, then you repeat. So that is the reason why I see 99% of Nigerians are rich.
This is the last part of tell them what you are going to tell them.
Then tell them what you have told them. So I hope we get structure, right? Preparation is really one. We are still on preparation. Now you have finished writing the speech. You have written your introduction, you have written your middle, and you have written your end, and how you are going to conclude. Then we move to actually rehearsing your speech. That is the physical preparation. You can either, there are so many methods of delivery. Some prefer memorizing everything. Like, I think a lot of TED speakers memorize everything because you need to nail each and every word. Some prefer memorizing some parts and leaving some parts to chance, to just speak about it from their minds. Some prefer to read, public reading. There are certain places that you have to read. You have to. But not too much. I don't think any of us is engaged in those kinds of things. Who is in diplomatic relations? Sometimes when you are giving speeches in diplomatic relations, you have to read it. Because you might miss something and it might translate to chaos. Right? Yeah, in danger. You need to stay to the script. But 99% of the time, that is not the case. So, some prefer to read. And some prefer, which is the most favorable one, to go through the speech using bullet points. You can write everything, even memorize it if you wish. But then when you come to deliver the speech, the only thing you need to remember is your points. As I said, easily, you can remember your introduction, the 3 points, your conclusion. You can use them as the bullet points. You can remember, no, first I need to speak about this. Then I need to tell a story. Then I need to tell this part. Then I need to persuade them about this. In points. And I think it's the best way for me actually. But we are all different. You need to test things. You can memorize today. Tomorrow try using the bullet points. Next day try reading from your notes. And in terms of reading from bullet points, you can actually come with a paper, a pamphlet.
Yes.
Even the best speakers, people like Martin Luther King, people like Barack Obama, you can actually see him bringing out his notes and putting them on the podium. But when he speaks, he's not speaking reading from them. He just glanced and he knows that I'm going to talk about this point, and he moved on to speak about it.
Sounds like a map.
Yeah, like a map
Navigating.
to navigate through your speech. You create a map to navigate through your speech. That is the method you can use to deliver. Then in your rehearsal, how should you rehearse? Rehearse alone, deliver to friends, and also record yourself. We have spoken about recording and reviewing. So in this stage of your preparation, it's very important. Record yourself speaking. Stand, put your phone. We all have our phones today. We all have cameras with us everywhere we go. So record yourself. And then review it. Record yourself again and then review it. Call 2 or 3 of your friends. Deliver your speech to them. Ask them for feedback. Although I know they will be generous and they will not tell you that you have done badly. I think no one will even tell you that you have done something wrong, because they are afraid to hurt your feelings, right? So you need to also record yourself a review, and then bring in friends, deliver it to them, your family, deliver it to them, so that you can have some practice. Practice and practice and practice and practice. I cannot overemphasize this. If I'm giving a speech in 10 days, I can force myself to deliver that speech each and every twice or 3 times. Yes. So that I can it depends on the importance of that speech. Because there are speeches you will be like, nah, this is not that important. I can just go in and deliver it without any. But there are speeches that you are on high stakes. Maybe you are in a competition. Maybe you are delivering a very important political speech. Maybe you are going in to deliver something that will get you a promotion in your career, right? There are those kinds of speeches that are very important. Sometimes you are going in for an interview and you definitely know that they are going to ask you to tell them about yourself. Yeah, the most important one.
Yeah, like.
So you can practice and practice and practice. So then moving to, let's say, the day you are delivering your speech. The day you are delivering your speech. What can you do to make sure that you perform with confidence? One is to sleep. Please sleep.
I don't sleep.
Although today I haven't had enough sleep, but sleep. It's very important. What happened to me last month was that I spent the entire month without having enough sleep. Every day I would sleep 4 to 4 hours and wake up and continue doing things. And then one day, I say, "Kai, today I'm going to mute my phone and just sleep through this day." I slept till nearly 12 o'clock. 12 a.m. No, 12 a.m. So I slept for nearly 10 to 12 hours. And when I woke up, I was so productive that I was surprised. My mind was so clear. Your mind will be clear when you sleep enough. Have enough sleep. We have a varied number of hours when it comes to sleeping enough. Some might sleep for 3 to 5 hours and it's enough for them. Some might go 8 hours, some 6, some 7. So know how much sleep is enough for you. For me, I think it's 6 to 6.5 hours, and I have slept enough. So know how much sleep you need and sleep enough, so that we have a clear mind when we are trying to sleep. And from reviewing my own speeches, I saw that when I sleep enough, how I performed, and when I had little sleep, how I performed. And there is a difference, a clear difference. So sleep enough. And then when you know that you are delivering a speech in this hall, let's say this hall today, come early. Look at the dynamic of this piece. Although today we have all broken that thing. Everyone was late.
How for the
So that's why I came early for anyone.
Yes.
So come to the place early. Make sure you know what kind of stage you are going to be on. And then before your speech, as I said yesterday, try and calm yourself down. Either by listening to something, or by using box breathing, or by walking and doing some physical exercise. You can walk, you can even do push-ups if you wish. Because your body releases that adrenaline a lot. And you want to exercise so that you can reduce the level, okay? Then moving to how you come off stage. So you come off stage. When you are trying to come off stage, don't be fast. Go slow, you have composure. Yeah, I'm emphasizing going as slow as you can. Just move slowly, go to the stage, stand, look at the audience for 3 to 5 seconds, and then begin speaking. and speak very slowly. That is preparation. The fifth one, right?
No.
I think these 5 things are the most important ones, and if you master these 5 things, the rest will come easy.